I decided to do my final project on Georgia Douglas Johnson. She was an important and widely read African American woman, poet, and playwright, and she was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1877 and reached her highest point of popularity in the 1920s and the 30s, especially during the Harlem Renaissance, of which she was great importance to. It was a time of literary, cultural, and artistic revival in regard to African Americans in New York City, and especially since it occurred after World War One. Johnson wrote 4 volumes of poetry that really solidified her as one of the most successful African American and women poets of the Harlem Renaissance, which the poems are The Heart of a Woman from 1918, Bronze from 1922, An Autumn Love Cycle in 1928, and Share My World of 1962. After moving to Washington, D.C. After the death of her husband in 1925, Johnson had to support herself and her 2 sons, putting them through law and medical school on her own. She even opened up her home as a sort of shelter to those in need, even nicknaming her house the Halfway House. She also hosted gathering events called the S Street Salon every Saturday, where other Harlem Renaissance writers would attend, such as Clarissa Scott Delaney, Gwendolyn Bennett, Marita Bonner, and County Cullen, just to name a few. So, back to her writing, they displayed themes of loneliness, isolation, motherhood, love, nature, and the constrictions regarding the roles of women in society. She also explored themes of institutionalized racism, social determination, and racial pride, which a lot of her themes, and most of them to be honest, come from her own hardships and life experiences, such as with the motherhood and love, loneliness, isolation, those kind of themes often relate back to her strange relationship with her mother. A play that she is quite famous for, and was actually her first play, is a one-act play called Blue Blood, which was performed in 1926 in New York City. It's about miscegenation, or as the dictionary puts it, the interbreeding of people considered to be of different racial types. And this occurs in the post-Civil War era. However, in this case, it is not consensual, and it is actually about the rape of a black woman by white men. Johnson also won first place for a drama on black life in a journal contest called Opportunities in 1927 for her play Plumes, which she submitted under the male pen name John Temple. Plumes focused on black poverty in the South and a mother's love for her child, again relating back to the themes mentioned earlier about motherhood, love, isolation, loneliness, and whatnot. Johnson actually wrote 28 plays. However, many of them were never published due to their subject matter relating to race and gender. Many of her plays were not produced as well due to Johnson's refusal to provide them with happy endings. And in 1930, her play Blue-Eyed Black Boy was published in Alan Locke's, a writer, philosopher, educator, and patron of the arts, anthology plays, a source book of Native American drama. Johnson was actually the only woman to have her work be featured in the anthology. And Johnson was also very open about her thoughts on anti-lynching laws and was involved in the NAACP's anti-lynching campaigns in 1936 and 1938. And Blue-Eyed Black Boy was even written as a means to convince Congress to pass anti-lynching laws.